Hi, welcome to Nicci's vlog, and today we're going to talk about the sobering subject of bullying. Specifically, we're going to talk about some trans bullying, which is very pertinent this week, which is Trans Week, where we're celebrating all things trans around the world, and it's culminating on the 20th of November, this Sunday, which is Trans Day of Remembrance, where we're going to remember all of the trans victims, murder victims, all the people who have been murdered because, they don't dress the way society wants them to. So, some of you will have seen my show, To Pee or Not to Pee, talking about the bathroom law, and if not, you're welcome to come and see the next one, which is November 29th in Aylesbury in the UK, where we deal with the bathroom law, and in there I talk about the most remarkable trans teenager I know, and that's the beautiful Corey Maison. And Corey kind of shot to fame because she did an anti-bullying video, because when she was a boy she was bullied, and then she went to homeschool, transitioned, became female, and felt so confident and comfortable and safe that she's gone back into the education system and is living kind of, normal life as best she can, given that she's a global celebrity and kind of everybody knows her name, and she's kind of in a bit of an activist. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful girl. Unfortunately, though, she's now being bullied again. Onto that in a second. In the show, actually, I talk about how she was bullied online, cyberbullied by this guy. I like to say Diarrhea Nelson because it sort of rhymes. And in the show, we talk about some of the Facebook posts that this 24-year-old has posted, to kind of anti-gay and anti-trans. And I kind of take the mickey out of the fact that most of these Bible quotes are wrong, and they're the wrong quotes that he should be. I particularly like Leviticus 18:22-23, which of course is, man shall not lie with another man lest he be stoned, which is really good news for marijuana sales. But I don't want to do that today because you've already seen me do that. There's a video online doing it. I want to talk about the fact that this cyberbullying now, in the wake of the election, in fact the day after the election, seems to have extended beyond cyberbullying for young Corey and now into actual kind of face-to-face bullying in school. And why do I care about that? Well, here's some statistics again from the show. This is the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And I'll just pull out the stats very quickly for you. You can see them. It's on the homepage. You can research this yourself. But what we know in the US is that if you are just a general member of the population, your chances of suicide run at about 4.6%. But if you're transgender, like Corey or like me, that goes up by to 41%. Which is nearly 20%. In the UK, the figures are not quite as harsh. They tend to go from 2.6% up to 25%. Still 10 times, not 20 times. But there's a huge leap in the number of trans kids that attempt suicide. And then the really worrying thing is, according to the stats, if kids are bullied, and bullied can be cyberbullying, can be physical bullying, if they are bullied, particularly if they are bullied at school, the chances of suicide double. And in the show, I sort of think that makes this freak a potential murderer, because if he is going to bully a trans kid at school, he's doubling the chances that that trans kid is going to take his or her own life, and so I think culpable. So, really sad to find out this week that actually this video has been posted on Instagram and social media. So, and it's really bad quality, but you can see somebody has gone into the boys' restroom of Corey's school and drawn on the wall a picture of a girl with a skirt, with a pair of boobs and a penis. And then they've written on it, "My name's Corey, I've got a dick," and then clearly sending a very visual message. And they posted it on Instagram and then went into the classroom, and then all the boys went into the toilet to have a laugh at it, and then they all came back into the classroom to have a laugh at Corey. Now, fairly despicable, and you don't need me to tell you now that this and any other kid would double the chances that that trans kid would go home and not make it home because they would terminate or end their own life. So utterly irresponsible, and I'm sure the school are going to do something about it, but I wanted to say two things. The first thing is I want to send a message to my friend Cory. And my message is actually be a bit gentle with these guys, because chances are the reason that they're doing this isn't for any other reason. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got everything to do with the fact that you're beautiful and you're attractive, and one of these kids is struggling with it. One of these kids is trying to figure out how that makes them feel. And kids, particularly 14-year-olds, particularly males, particularly, boys, when they're going through puberty and are struggling, they'll probably find you attractive and don't know how to admit that, and don't know how to admit that with the other boys around them. And so it turns into this. It turns into them covering up the fact that they don't know how they feel about this. It's got nothing to do with you, pet. It's got absolutely nothing to do with you. It is a reflection on them. Why do I know this? Well, because, I have boys of my own. I mean, I have 3 kids. I'm a happily proud father. These are my children. And this is my 14-year-old. And he is exactly the same age. And I know, what boys are like, and I know what they're going through, which gives me a second message I want to give out. Not to the boys. I do have their names, and I did think about naming and shaming them, but the 14-year-olds, they're struggling. They're probably having a rough time. But some of the people who watch this video, you need to go find the fathers of those boys, right? Because I'm proud of my kids, and I know what I want my kids to grow up to be. And if one of my kids was involved in this kind of bullying at school, I'd want to do something about it now, because this is about, more than anything else, what sort of men are these 4 kids going to grow up to be? And if you're the father of one of these 4 kids, if you don't take a hard line on this and solve it now, you're going to live to regret it, because you're going to end up with a bigger teenager, maybe a 21-year-old man that sits in your house that people are afraid of because he's a bully. Now, my kids are not bullies. Find the parents of these kids and ask them, do they know about this? Because if they don't know about this and this is happening, they need to do something about it. It doesn't need to be lawyers. It doesn't need to be big. These are probably just 4 teenagers that just need to be sat down and told what they're doing was a little bit irresponsible. And maybe one of them, right, actually is trans, or maybe one of them has got some sort of issues that you need to deal with in a sensitive way. So don't be angry at these kids. They need help, right? But they need help now before this grows into something obnoxious. Because if you're not careful, they might be the sort of people that grow up and vote for Trump. You wouldn't want that, would you? Anyway, that's what I think. I'd like to know what you think. You can get me at www.nickitake.com. You can get me at @NicciTake, #NicciTake, /NicciTake, or just Google Nicci Take and you're going to find me. I will be doing another vlog about the election early next week, about Trump versus Clinton, and what I think that probably means for America and for our perception in the UK for America. And we might just touch on some things about women and trans in that vlog as well. Either way, if you know Cory, please go find her and give her a hug. She needs it. Bye.